So progressives are mobilizing for, talking about a reverend, for Reverend Senator Warnock in the great state of Georgia. We have one more week before the runoff. And the reminder, the Democrats do need to win Georgia, despite what some neoliberals had to say, just because the Democrats are at 50 now. They were writing off Senator Warnock, if you can believe that. Yeah, it happened. Let's put up this headline. Progressives mobilize in Georgia for December 6th Senate runoff. Advocacy groups backing Senator Raphael Warnock call the Democrat a reproductive rights champion who is also fighting to stop the climate crisis and create good jobs in the process. I want all of you to know there are many other progressive groups supporting Senator Warnock other than the ones that we're gonna list today. But this particular article focused in on those groups that are part of reproductive health, reproductive champions, and or climate chaos. So let's take a look at some of those organizations that are right there. So while more than 500,000 Georgians have already cast their ballots for a December 6th runoff, progressive leaders and groups are encouraging Peach State voters to help US Senator Raphael Warnock, the Democratic incumbent, defeat his GOP challenger, ex-football player Herschel Walker. Yeah, they are encouraging that. And the race is tight, it really is, and that's why we're in this runoff. The tight race has implications for not only Georgia, but the entire country. Though Democrats lost their majority in the US House earlier this month, Warnock winning re-election would give his party 51 Senate votes. And thank you, Jessica, for laying that out in Common Dreams. And that is important because I'm glad that you asked. The tight race has those implications, and independents favor Warnock by 52% to 48%, which is just enough to offset the plus 6-point Republican advantage in party identification, with Republicans 95% for Walker and Democrats 99% for Warnock. Any thoughts about what's happening in the great state of Georgia?
Yeah, I mean, like, on one hand, it's like hopeful and exciting, right? That Raphael Warnock is doing good in the polls. But like, why is Herschel Walker polling as well as he is? Like, really, like, seriously, like, that's one of those things that just continuously like melts my brain with all the things that's come out about like his like abusiveness in his personal life, all the ridiculous things that he said, like running around pretending to be a sheriff. Like, come on, like how do people not see how like cartoonish and like villainous like this? It's just completely ridiculous. And so like fundamentally, I really hope that the team, like their campaign team, really hammers down on like how like over the top and ridiculous Herschel Walker is, and how like fundamentally dishonest he is. It looks also like if independents are swinging more for Raphael Warnock than Herschel Walker in this situation, that should really start dispelling a lot of myths that I think people have about independent voters. Because like technically, I'm an independent voter, right? I consider myself a socialist. So when people ask, "Are you very liberal?" I'm like, "No, I'm a socialist," which is nowhere on that spectrum. There's a lot of independent voters out there, believe it or not, that want to see people who are reproductive rights champions, that want to see people who are actually willing to stand up for like workers and things like that, that actually think that the moderation is not great and don't want to vote for somebody that's as ridiculous or as extreme as Herschel Walker is.
Yeah, that is the truth. And that 51 seats would make it easier for the president to confirm judicial nominees. And so it's important, including to the Supreme Court, if that opportunity presents itself. And so that's why this is important. Let's put up very quickly some of the groups, and this is just a sampling, who are supporting Senator Warnock. And you see them, they're Friends of the Earth, Sunrise, NARAL, Planned Parenthood, and 100+ clergy for Warnock. And then some of the leaders. Again, none of this is exhaustive, but this is just what was listed in the articles. And you have the president, the vice president, Senator Warren, Senator Jeff Merkley, and Representative Pramila Jayapal, just to name a few. And then we have the Georgia Poor People's Campaign launched a statewide canvassing effort on behalf of Senator Warnock. They were text baking and social media campaigns to reach out to low-income voters to get them out to vote. And I know for a fact, Progressive Democrats of America are doing the same thing. So this is just a sampling. Get out there, Georgia. If you know somebody, phone a friend or a friend of me, tell them they got to get out there. We are 1 week away from this runoff. And I do sincerely agree with Ben. It should have never been that close. but here we are. You got to get out there and vote Reverend Warnock.